Live. Are we live? Yeah, we're live. We're a little bit late this morning because I had a really important note to write to somebody. And I had to do that when I came in because sometimes, something's on your mind and it's right there. And if you leave it, it's gone and you'll never have that spirit to do it in the same way again. So I just sent off a note that was important to me. So I just got in the studio and we're going to work on the sky today. We're going to talk. This is going to be about self-care and sky, I guess. We are all so small under a great big sky. I just hang up my coat here. And you might want to see a rug that I finished recently. I just got this one done. And don't have a name for it yet. I just got to think about that a little bit. But I am loving the water. Look at that water. Just all the beauty right there. And I love the rocks, all the different yarns and stuff that I used. And it came along really good. We just got a frame this week. So I'm going to pass by you here now, and I'm going to walk out here. I'm going to hide these because I'm not ready to show these yet. So come on out. And here we are. And I'm going to start with some sky today. Now, I've picked out some yarns here. So we might do the yarns I'm going to bring them over. And I'm just going to pull all these aside. And let's get working on a little bit of the lower part of the sky. Now, I don't have tons of any of these yarns. I just want you to know. But I know that I want to use this. This is window pane blue. And I'm going to get this out, undo it. So we have a little special surprise today. We have a guest. And I'm going to let her come on and introduce herself. And it will just be a few minutes before we do that. Do you think that we should get some pale yellow? Or maybe, I wonder if we need some pale yellow for that sky. Well, anyway, let's just start here and let's get some of the blue in. So this is window pane blue. And I think all of these are on the... So what I'm doing with the sky is it's going to be kind of an evening sky. But I have to decide. I haven't sort of figured out my swirls and my twirls yet, right? That is a little stiff looking right there, the way I have this done. So let's see what else we can pull in here. Maybe, do we want this deep blue? That is a really great blue. This is Cascade 220. I'm not sure of the name of it. These are all listed on new products. So the thing I like about working with a fine yarn is that when you take two strands, it looks as if you are working with you're working really fine. So just see this. You see how this area looks like it's a lot of little stitches. But really it isn't. It's not a lot different than that one. I'm going to just take some of the snow shadows and I'm just going to see what happens if I have this. I'm just wondering if I can.
Deanne, can I ask, what made you think that that was stiff looking?
What?
You had mentioned that the
Oh,
window,
this? Because
yeah.
it came down and it was a really jagged line, like a straight line
Okay.
down, and that's what made it stiff looking to me. But that is a good question because I didn't really explain that. So I'm just going to use the snow. So it almost could be like snowing, hey, out. It could be. You could use mauve, you could use pale yellow. You don't have to use white for this. You could use certain shades of green, would look really good. And our guest today, she's a rug hooker as well. She came to one of our beginner classes, and we'll ask her a little bit about that too. Okay, now what is this? It's just kind of like a little flower. I've got some lichen and lace. I don't know. I don't think this one's on there, folks, but it is also a very fine yarn. So I'm just going to try a little bit of that. We do have, it is their worsted weight. I'm just going to add some of that in there and blend. Oh, I love this. I'm still confused about the sky, because I'm still confused about those stars. Let's go in and have a look at my stash, because it's always good to have a little stash over. Let's see what we got. Got this sort of pale green. I've got this yellow. I wonder about a white mauvey, like a pale mauve. Maybe there's a buttercream. There's a bright yellow. Like, I don't know, right? So I'm just guessing. Maybe a light blue. Just throwing out some color ideas. Another light blue. Maybe a pale pink. I did have in mind a pale green. I don't know. I'll just try that. That's not it, but you don't always know what's it. Oh, this might work, Surratt. So I've got a nice little stash here. Let's go out and have a look. See what we got. So I'm going to go with the Surratt. And we don't have this one on it is, you can just Google Surratt, S-E-U, not Google, go search our website, sorry, S-E-U-R-A-T. And I'm just going to try that for my stars and see if I like it. This Angie dyes for us. It is a great color. It was part of our original artist series early on in our lives. And it's one that we kept because we love it. Okay. Now I got a great big mess here. That's part of it, isn't it? It's just part of making. Now I'm going to get back to this color, which is the window pane blue. And this afternoon, folks, we have, for those of you who are in the inspiration sessions, go to your session, and the link to the live Zoom is there. And I think Angela's going to send it out this morning, or maybe you already have.
No, I will.
The link to this afternoon's Zoom for the members of the inspiration session. We do a live Zoom where we have a hook in together. So I'm kind of creating little shapes here. I'm going to take this one. So I'm kind of repeating this shape. Now, what about this? So just kind of a turquoise Briggs. I'm just going to try that in the star. And this may or may not stay, because it has to work with everything, right? It has to work with everything, and it kind of works with this. Maybe the door could be turquoise. I don't know. I'm not sure. Or maybe the stars are different colors. Like maybe. It's good not to be too sure. So this is Caracol, and I know we don't have much of this, so just so you know. I want to thank you for all the orders that you gave us for Black Friday. We're going to donate some of the money to the LA Animal Shelter is building a new shelter, so we're going to donate some to that. And we always donate some to the Cumberland Healthcare Foundation for their cancer care program or their mental health program, whichever they decide to use it for. And we're going to donate some to the food bank. And I'm going to give Lorna the list today, and I think there's some left over, and we'll just ask some of the staff if they have any thoughts of where they would like to see it go. So we are able to do that because you placed so many orders on the day of Black Friday, and I really appreciate it. Oh, look at the Caracol. Now see, that is gorgeous. So this yarn is a more expensive yarn. Goes a long way, but it does something really special in my rugs. So what about this little wonky thing right here? Still got no idea what that is. I'm just going to take this again and outline it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here with that. Maybe I'm just doing a little outline, just a little color. And then I'm going to fill it in with the Caracol. So it's just like a little decorative element. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, let's do another strand of that because it is really beautiful. Okay, we're going to take that up here, in here. So that just gives you an idea how I'm going to treat this sky. I might hook a little bit. First, I want to introduce Nicole. Nicole, why don't you come in and have a seat and have a little visit with us? And I might hook a little bit while we talk, but you have a seat right there, and if you want, and introduce yourself and tell us all about who you are. That's what I'm interested to know. Oh, that's okay.
Might just be easier if I hold it. Is it on?
It's
Yes,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, you want to hold it? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Just be easier maybe.
So tell us who you are.
So my name is Nicole Burke.
Yes.
I am very fortunate enough to have my space on what I do as an esthetician and a spa owner right across the street from you.
You do.
Yeah. And thank you for inviting me.
You're really welcome. Yeah. So it's Nicole Burke Aesthetics, right?
That's
If
right.
people want to find you online.
Yeah, Nicole Burke Aesthetics and Wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and Instagram is where you can find me. That's best.
That's the best way to find you.
Yeah.
Great. So I wanted to talk. One of the things I think is really important as we go into December is I think it's the month that we neglect our self-care.
Very much so.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about what you know about that.
So my advice to people when it comes to self-care is whenever you say, oh, I don't know, like in my line of work, when people have appointments,
Yes.
I'll hear, I don't know if I'm going to have time for
Right.
that. This time of year, we're focused everywhere else except for ourselves, typically.
Yes.
And my advice is if you are thinking that you don't have time,
Yeah.
you actually need time for it even more. And it's my advice.
It's even more vital.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And it's my advice too when it comes to even like brides or people getting ready for any event. They'll feel stressed because they have an appointment coming up. And once I see the difference on their face when they leave for their appointment, it's like, even if it was just an hour,
Yeah.
it's a small little fraction of time, but it can make the world of difference. So you don't necessarily have to go for a spa appointment, but it could be going for a walk.
Right.
There's a reason why when you're flying,
yes,
they get you to put your mask on first before you can help the people around you. You know, that's a standard practice when they're doing their announcements. Because if you truly don't have anything in you at the end of your day, you can't give to anybody else. And we feel very depleted.
Yeah.
So this time of year, it could be just hiding away and hooking for a little bit.
It could be. Really.
Yeah.
I think so too.
It's become very
yeah.
Staple practice for me, for my self-care. Because my friends and family know that when I'm hooking,
yes,
my phone goes away.
Right.
And it could ding 1,000 times and I'm hooking. This is what I'm doing.
Great.
the world will not fall apart in that time. So
Yeah.
regardless of what you're doing for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I try to do something like in terms of maybe aesthetics or just like self-care. I try to do something once a month,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you have any, do you think it matters how often, or do you
Well, it depends on what you're doing. For
yeah.
aesthetic services,
Yeah.
I specialize mainly in skincare and hair removal.
Yeah.
I don't do manicures and pedicures anymore. And
No.
as an esthetician, that can be a little bit odd for people to hear.
Yeah.
It was not good for my body. I was
Right.
getting,
You found it hard and
yeah,
physically
yeah.
hard. Yeah.
So having, again, the boundaries in place to not do something if it doesn't feel good.
Yes.
So in my line of work, doing mainly skincare for facials, it's every 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
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 I noticed that for myself, if I do something for me, self-care, at least once a week,
Right.
it makes a huge difference in my week.
But that can be anything,
It
right?
can be anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
a spa service. So when you're dealing with spa services, it's
Mhm.
usually whoever you're going to will make a professional recommendation
Yeah.
on how often you should be coming in based on cell turnover
Yeah.
and things like that. But
Yeah.
usually it's every 4 to 6 weeks for most services.
So how do you think we need to look at our lives and decide what we need as individuals for self-care?
That's a good question.
Yeah. What do you think would help with that? Because I think sometimes we're already getting a lot of self-care and not really we're not really appreciating it for what it is. Like the other day, I stayed home and I baked for an afternoon.
Right.
And that for me was self-care.
That's right.
Knowing I had some goodies in the freezer if someone dropped in, connecting with my mother because I was using her recipe and her pan.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It was like, that was a really nurturing thing. So
Yeah.
what do we need to do to sort that out for ourselves, do you think?
I think the important thing is to know that what self-care for you is going to be very different for somebody else. They might not understand it.
Yes.
So for me to stay home for a day, sipping tea in my pajamas, I love to do watercolor painting.
Yes.
So that is like, oh my gosh, it's so good for my soul.
Yes.
I might have friends and family that they just don't understand why I would get joy from that.
Right.
But to take a moment to pause and realize, okay, this is for me and it's nourishing me, and that's okay if other people don't understand.
Right.
And it's gonna be different for everybody.
Yeah.
So you baking,
right,
for someone who's not a baker,
that would be very stressful.
That would not be an enjoyable day at all. But they might decide to go to the gym for an hour and have a personal best.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation and knowing that I was coming here too. This conversation always pops up to me. Is I have a very great relationship with my family doctor.
Right.
We can sit and we can speak candidly and we have a great chat. And she knows that when I come in, a lot of times it's to be able to talk more like mom to mom or business owner to business owner. So we do have great chats. And she said to me, she's like, so Nicole, like, how are things? And I remember I was just about to turn 35. And I'm very like dry and sarcastic. So I said, well, I don't know. You tell me. I'm about to turn 35. My daughter doesn't need me anymore as much as she did. What do I do? What do I do with my time? And she said something really profound and it stuck with me. And she said, okay, so you feel like every 35-year-old, you need to find and do your passions. And I knew what my passions were.
Yes.
But I wasn't doing them.
Right.
Because life went on pause for a little bit when you're raising young kids.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to find out what your passions are. You know, dabble with certain things. Show up to a beginner class randomly for rug hooking.
That's how it happened for you, right?
Yeah.
You saw it on Facebook. We were having our free beginner class at the end of the month, and you popped in
an hour before. Yeah. I started watching the lives and thought, I really, really want to try that.
Yeah.
And just, it was kind of meant to be.
Yeah.
So I came in, there was room, I did it. And now I usually, when I come in on Mondays is my errand day, and I'll leave and say, see you next Monday. Like, I'll be back for more supplies. So knowing what your passion is and actually doing it and carving out time in your
Right.
day. And sometimes there's guilt that's associated with that. And it's funny because when I have clients that come in for an appointment or even for a workshop, which is where I would experience the feedback the most, is I guarantee them that when they go home, their kids are still okay. They probably don't even notice that you've left.
Right.
Your husband or your partner is still watching the movie or the series that they were watching on Netflix. So we have this guilt that if we take a little bit of time for ourselves to fill up our cup, which is a common expression, that like when we go home, like everything is going to fall apart, and it doesn't. And sometimes I'll check in if someone's really stressed about taking that time for themselves. I'm like, how was your house? Didn't even notice I was gone. Right.
Yeah.
But it made the world of a difference of how you can even handle things that pop up on a whim. So like this season can be stressful for people. For sometimes it's not super joyous.
It's true.
Yeah,
really. It is.
There's
Everybody's going through something different,
there's mixed
right?
emotions. So, and the level of trying to accomplish everything and with company coming.
Yep.
So if you don't take that little time to do something for self-care, which again could be an appointment.
Yep.
In my space, my treatment room is down in a basement. So I always say like, okay, we're going to tuck away from reality.
Yeah.
And I see such a difference when people come back up the stairs. It's like,
yeah.
They
you walk into
again.
your space and it's all glass, and there's a beautiful white tree that I see every night. It's gorgeous in your window, and it's all glass. And then you go down into this little alcove and then into your treatment room. And in the other room, I notice that you have a sauna, and and people just go and have a sauna at your place too, right? They can. Yeah.
They don't need an appointment with me.
Yeah. They just book the sauna.
They book the sauna. The first appointment they come in, I show them the ropes, and then I say, once you know what to do, you can book your appointment, come in and relax. And they have the space for an hour. Right. So sauna sessions between 20 to 30 minutes. Yes. You would never spend an hour in there.
No.
But I have a yoga mat in there. I have books.
Yeah.
And again, it's just to cool down and have that. You can meditate, you can read. There's not a whole lot of self-service down there, which I love. Yeah. Because it's the disconnect and you're giving back to yourself. Right. Which again can be.
You're big on the disconnect, aren't you?
Yes.
You're good. You're good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You keep your phone in another room while you're hooking sometimes, or when you're reading.
My phone is on silent at all times.
Your phone is on silent at all times. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually have do not disturb during my working hours.
Yes.
It's called focus. It's a setting on my iPhone that I set. Because again, when I'm doing a service, this person is wanting.
You want to be with that person.
Yeah, to give the energy to that person.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
So it's on focus, and then from 9 p.m. onward, it's on do not disturb.
Yeah.
And then if I happen to be not doing anything, then I'll check it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But my phone's always on silent.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. That makes perfect sense. I have been, you deliver a beautiful treatment. I've been to your spa, and it is really lovely. And you do everything with great intention. And tell me about that. Like you, and I wanted to mention to you, like your Instagram, you're not selling spa services. You're talking about intention and about the way we should live and the way we should be. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think it's really important that when you have a social media,
yes,
that people know you a little bit.
Yeah.
You're spending time one-on-one in a room with me. And if I'm a stranger, I think it's really important that you know what you're going to be coming in. You know, by maybe me going on a story on Instagram, you know, how I might talk, or that, you know, I don't actually take myself very seriously, which is a misconception. Yeah. And on my Instagram too, I think it's important that I give tips that you can do at home without coming in for a service. And I get a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like you suggest things and
right.
Things that people can
Halloween, I had a lot of clients that said, oh my gosh, you would cringe because I had to use a washcloth twice in a row and I didn't know that was faux pas.
Yeah.
But then you posted it. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But it's those things that when you come in to see me for a service, say for a facial, for example, I'll notice a difference in your skin when you come in. We've gone a little bit further with your treatment because you were doing the things at home. And there's so many little things at home that you can do. I mean, we're in a time now that when you go to the grocery store, you cringe. So to be able to have a free little nugget of information, that's a profession. Like, I could go on about the whole
so
TikTok thing.
What is something that somebody can do at home just to love their face?
Double cleanse your skin at night.
Double cleanse your skin at night. Just double cleansing.
Just, that's a tip that you can use. I always say, I'm presuming that most of your viewers today might be female.
Mostly they might be, yeah.
So and I like to say this for shock value a little bit so that you'll remember, is that your skincare doesn't stop here. Your skincare goes to your nipples.
Okay. So if
right
down your
down,
décolletage.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're exposed there. Like maybe not this time of year. We're in Atlantic Canada.
Yeah.
So we're bundled up.
Yeah.
But other times when we do have sun, we have, shirts that go down.
Yeah.
So the sun is exposed.
Yeah.
On that area. So making sure that you carry out your skincare.
Right.
And again, on my Instagram and my Facebook page, I post little tips and tricks. Changing your pillowcase. If you struggle with breakouts and congestion, especially changing your pillowcase every second to third day, you can.
Changing your pillowcase, that's good.
Yeah,
that's a good
when
tip.
People come in for a facial with me, I will say, don't forget, change your pillowcase tonight.
Yeah.
So that you're sleeping on a nice, clean surface.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I can see that.
And if you're
it would feel good. It's a little quicker. Like a whole sheet change sometimes takes a bit of energy, but a quick pillowcase change is pretty easy. Yeah.
And it helps really to clear up your skin. Silk pillowcases, satin pillowcases have so many benefits. And that's not from a sales tactic. That is like, you see your sleep lines. And when I have clients that come in, you sleep on your left side of your face, they think I'm like psychic.
But
no, I see different lines on the side of your face based on the cotton friction of your pillow.
That's interesting. I never thought about that. But that's really true. Now, I just wanted to say, you opened a second business this summer.
I did.
Yeah.
Completely not in the industry. But it's about nourishing the different sides of you.
Right.
So people see me spa.
Yeah.
I'm always in black for my work day. I'm usually in black scrubs, which when I go out places, people think I'm a nurse. But anyway, it's just become my staple. That's what people are used to seeing me in. It doesn't have distraction. So I opened up an ice cream business.
Yeah, you did.
I did in cottage country.
The scoop in cottage country. Yeah.
Scoop shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I do like to have fun, and I like to play my music loud, and I like to dance, and I like to, like, our uniform is tie-dye.
Yes.
We have the local Feel the Groove in Bay Vert makes so everything is as local as I can.
Yes.
They make our tie-dye t-shirts. So when you come in, it's a fun atmosphere off the hop.
And you sort of, your daughter was part of that business too, right? So tell us about that and how you're role modeling for her.
So she is 11. She's just turned 11. She obviously was very excited that we're going to have an ice cream business at the very beginning, but then that kind of
we're off after the 70th scoop.
Right. Yes. But it's been great for her to be able to interact with public. Screens are huge right now. Yeah. So to have someone at a younger age to be able to have a conversation with someone when they come in and greet them, that's key. Even little things like doing cash. Yeah. Actually handing cash and not doing a debit transaction. Right. Like those things are kind of being pushed to the wayside. So
you're teaching her.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you have an emphasis on making in the business. Like you have little tables and people are doing crafts and games and
workshops.
So
we have board games there too.
And you're really trying, you're building community is what you're doing there.
The Tinish community, I am still blown away with the support that they had given me when I opened.
Yes.
And continue to give me on the off season. So we'll be back open in May.
Yeah.
So to offer a space that they could come in, have an ice cream, have a laugh. We had a group of people spend 2 hours and play board games this summer. Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Just enjoy
you guys
yourself.
are laughing and having fun, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So yeah, to nourish that side for me, I have calm, and spa music, and tranquil and quiet, and then I get to nourish the inner child, because that's important.
That is important. The
that's
playful
part of self-care, making sure that you're able to nourish that side of you too.
Yeah, it is important, isn't it? I know. Sometimes I neglect her.
But you're able to do that with your fun colors.
Well, I
that
do.
You do.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. And I mean, this, when I'm hooking, I guess it does nourish the child in me. And I keep a little picture of myself as a child above my desk too, to sort of remind me. And I have a couple on my fridge just to remind me, you know. I think when we think about ourselves as children, and then when we bring who we were as children and we remember that, I think it really, it just helps us not be so hard on ourselves, for goodness sakes, right? I also want you to tell people what happened to you this fall when you and your daughter, you went to the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and you were nominated.
We were nominated, or I was nominated for Businesswoman of the Year for the Amherst Chamber of Commerce, but they're doing it under Cumberland County.
Yeah, so for the whole county.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
That was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah. And you were nominated, and
then I won.
You won.
But my date was my daughter.
Your date was your daughter.
Yes.
Well, what a good role model you are for your daughter. Like, what a wonderful thing.
Important.
Yeah. And she must have been so proud of you.
She was.
Yeah.
Yes. She really enjoyed the mashed potatoes that were
Let's get down to facts,
she was there for the mashed potatoes.
She was there. The mashed potatoes were really good.
Yeah.
And that's what she talked about afterwards.
Yes, definitely.
Well, congratulations on your nomination and on winning. That's a really wonderful
thing. It was a huge honor. Huge honor.
Yeah.
And a pleasant surprise too.
Great.
It's just nice even to be nominated, to think, oh my gosh, like, I just kind of go out and I'm passionate about what I do for work.
Yeah.
So for me, it doesn't feel like work. And then so I refer to Nicole Burke Aesthetics' work.
Yes.
And then the Scoop Shack I refer as my passion project.
Okay. Yep.
And then I get to do that just to have fun and bring joy. So when I'm doing those things, I don't expect that anyone else is really noticing, or I don't have that, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't ever do what I'm doing to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah,
you just do it because you do it. I know. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like, you couldn't not do it almost.
No, you have that pull, and you just have to go with it. It's like the Mel Robbins 5-second rule. I call them rip the Band-Aid off decisions. When you really, really want to do something.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, I don't know. Just rip the Band-Aid off and do it.
Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah, it stresses me.
You're just not sure.
Like crazy.
I bet it does. Yes. So, like, you're ripping Band-Aids off left and right this summer.
Yes.
You were. Yeah. But you don't seem afraid, and you don't seem overly stressed. I feel like you honor what you're teaching, that you do take care of yourself.
Certainly now more than I ever have.
Yeah.
In my early 20s, I certainly was a different business owner, like not even the same. It was high stress. And then I also became a mom at 27. So, I think it's important too to acknowledge that you have different parts of your life that require certain versions of you. So, and what you enjoy doing is going to be different, right? Mm-hmm. What brings you joy. I really, really honor that when I start to feel run down, I stop, I pause, I have a rest day. That's important for me. Yeah. If I don't, I know what the consequences are. And again, it's just setting those boundaries too. And as a business owner and as a mom and, community member, sometimes that can be hard to do. But if we don't, then
it catches up with us.
It does catch up. Yeah.
Tell people where they can find you again.
Okay.
Nicole Burke.
Nicole Burke Aesthetics and Wellness. It's under Nicole Burke Aesthetics, just to make it simple, on Instagram and on Facebook. Again, if you're not local, you can still get lots of tips and tricks on how to look after yourself at home.
Yep.
And I try and be interactive too. So I love when people comment and tell me how their self-care is going and that kind of thing. And I have some exciting things that are always happening in my head.
Great. That
are going to be come to fruition in 2024.
Great. Yeah. You've had some fun workshops, like the cat.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the cat.
Tell people about that. It's just so fun.
The Catter Day. So
the Catter Day.
Right. So I don't think that it would have been around when you would have been in Newfoundland.
No.
Or like, when's the last time that you've been downtown St. John's?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would have been there. So there's
Okay.
a cafe called the Mad Catter Cafe.
Right.
In Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And they have cats there that are from the local SPCA. So every time, we used to go to Newfoundland a lot before COVID. We just love it there. So Zoe, my daughter, and I would go to this cat cafe, and we would go in, and every day she's like, I want to go to the cat cafe. So you go in, and as a parent, it's great because I could sit and have a tea, and then your child plays with the cats, and you have some self-care time for you just to sit. But I said, we didn't come to Newfoundland to see these cats every day. So then I thought, okay, how can I incorporate that into my work? Because it did bring a lot of joy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the board of the animal shelter here, the LA Animal Shelter. Mm-hmm. But even before I joined, I contacted the manager and I said, I'd like to do some DIY facials, but bring in kittens that are obviously available for adoption. So they have to be, I think it's like 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. So you come into my workspace, and I don't usually play spa music because it's a younger clientele, or and it's just fun. And at Christmas time last year, we did Christmas jammy theme. So you came in your Christmas jammies, and then you did it. So there's little kittens that are running around. You have the choice to sit at the bar height table and chair set, or on a yoga mat down on the ground. Depends on how interactive you want to be. So there's usually, I think we've had up to 8 kittens running around. So you're doing these DIY facials. You have your kitten in front of you. I'm instructing it. We do very simple skincare. So at home, you'll be able to do the same, and it's not overwhelming. And I tell everyone before we start, I know that you're here for the kittens and not so much me, so I don't take offense to that.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun because you have these little kittens, and they're running around. And then when you have your mask on for 20 minutes, then you can play with the kittens. Yeah. So
you're making people fall in love with the kittens.
Yes,
right?
And we do have adoptions. So that's kind of the goal too.
Yeah.
And then I give half of what comes in for the registration fee to the shelter.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And it's everyone's favorite. So we're going to have another one in between Christmas and New Year's, because that's the week that everyone kind of has their lull, and you're looking for something to do. And then I always say, come in your Christmas jammies, so you don't have to feel like you have to get dressed.
Just show up.
Show up. You're going to be covered in cat hair. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's really fun. And I know that you had some stiff competition in your nominations for Businesswoman of the Year.
Yes.
You really did. And I'm
very deserving.
And very deserving. And, very deserving. And I just want to congratulate you on, and I can see why you're doing so well.
Yeah.
And why people are acknowledging you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And your skin glows.
I've been an esthetician for 19 years.
Yeah.
And something that I hear too, when people come in and they haven't been doing anything for skincare, they want to fix what's happened. So the earlier that you can start using a professional skincare line and wearing SPF, certainly.
That's a big thing, isn't it?
Huge.
Huge. SPF.
Yes, every day. Wintertime, when people are like, oh, I don't know, I work from inside. Like, do you have windows? Do you go in your car?
Yeah.
Your car has windows. You're getting that exposure all the time.
SPF every day.
Every day.
Okay.
Morning.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you.
I'm going to go back and hook a little more, and can you bring over the little package that you brought in? I bought some things from Nicole, and we're going to add a couple of little goodies from the studio. And we just want to say thank you, Nicole. Do you want to show us what's in here?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I'll let you do it.
I'll hold this so that you can still hear me.
Okay.
So in my opinion, regardless of you were thinking self-care, that's what you talked about, a candle lit for me is the ultimate. Like, I have candles lit all the time.
Okay.
So I brought a candle.
Oh. Ooh.
So
Old bookstore.
This product is actually made right in Truro. Too, so it's Nova Scotia made.
It's gorgeous.
They burn really, really evenly. So that is actually Zoe's favorite flavor or scent.
It's a great scent. It's called Old Bookstore, leather, tobacco, amber, and coffee. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's her favorite.
Yeah.
And then, of course, paired with a cup of tea.
Herbal tea, relaxation,
so
herbal tea,
novelty.
Great. Thank you.
And I'm a firm believer in just having a soak in the tub at night. It really my routine. So Good Juju bath bombs. It's another
Ooh.
Canadian-made company too. So I have
Great.
that over.
Beautiful.
And
oh, there's more. Oh, this is my favorite color.
is
I
that
love
the one I
this.
couldn't remember? I know that
Yeah.
you like to do neutrals.
Yeah, I love. Oh, I don't know if that is the one or not.
So I
This
find
one is called. Can you read that, Nicole? Look at her. Backyard Nuptials.
Yeah, Backyard
Ooh,
Nuptials.
Lovely.
I really like that
I
line.
love that.
Yeah.
It is nice. So just a good. It's like a very pale, clear coat.
It
This
is.
one is. It's
Yeah,
lovely.
it's like a pale pink.
Yeah.
I find even by taking a couple minutes, if you're feeling a little blah, just by putting some nail polish,
just a little. Yeah.
Yeah, it can sometimes make. I'm going to set this down because I want to show everyone
Okay.
a tip if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when because I'll need both hands, at home, I always suggest to store polish in a cooler spot. So even if you have room in your fridge,
oh,
it lasts
okay,
longer.
It lasts longer. Okay.
And a lot of times when we have a polish, we want to shake it.
Yeah.
But it can create air bubbles. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to show you how to shake a polish.
Well, I'll just hold that for you.
See, roll it.
Oh, that's
And then-
why. Okay.
and then you don't
I
get your
see
air
sometimes
bubbles.
estheticians do that.
Yeah.
Just roll it.
That's why. Just
Okay.
with your hands.
And then it'll go on smoother.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thank you.
So again, free little
All
tip
right.
for your things at home.
So we have these products we've gotten from Nicole, and we're going to add some products from our studio. And for any orders in the next, say, day and a half, like till tomorrow, the next 24 hours or so, we're just going to do a random draw, and one of your orders will have this little package in it. So I just want you to think about self-care as the season goes on, and think about Advent and whatever it is that you celebrate. Make sure that you take good care going into your celebrations this season, whatever holidays you celebrate. Now, I just want to get back to the hooking a little bit, and I'm going to add, I'm not sure about this pale green. I'm not really positive about that. I think we've gone overtime, haven't we, Lorna? Probably.
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
Really? We are. So this is a long live today, but we had such a good interview with Nicole. So maybe I'll leave my decisions about, and I learned a lot listening to Nicole and talking with Nicole. Maybe I'll leave my decisions about the stars for next week, because we got to have something to do next week. Like, we can't be finished this like right away. Next week I'm going to try maybe put some of the door color in, finish off. I kind of want to finish off the tip, and we'll do Santa's boots too. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio and helping us be involved and part of our own community. And like I said, if you order in the next 24 hours, you're going to be put in a draw, and one of you will receive this goodies. I'm just going to go over the blues that we have for the sky. So we have the window pane blue, we have the Cascade, and we have the Caracol. And these are other possible suggestions for blues. The Briggs & Little Turquoise is a gorgeous color, and that would work really well here. You could highlight this and your stars with the Rasta Turquoise. Our New Zealand Stream, this strong blue, I might bring some of that in. This is our color school blue, our crayon box, and that will work in here. And I love this color. This is Indicita. I don't know how to say it, but it is a Rasta. And that, I was picking between the Caracol and that for this. I probably won't use both of them in here, but I could, and it would look really great. So we've used yellow WO, and we've also used the Alifaso Lopi in this for the red and the dark wine. So that's it for this week. Thank you for being part of Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio, and thank you for sharing this video and for sharing rug hooking. And always make sure that you have a little hook, an extra hook hanging around, because when you teach rug hooking, you never know what you're teaching someone. You could be teaching them about self-care, and maybe they need it. And you could be teaching them about community or friendship or solitude or love, whatever. It taught me a lot. I know that. That's it for today. Thank you so very much for being with me.